Hey folks, we're back for more Star City. And when we last left off, our heroes had tracked down some of the information apparently to important Atlanteans, whom they got arrested. But they were unfortunately, Superiana flew in, busted them out of the holding cells in NSCA headquarters, and our heroes tried to stop her, but yeah, that
We
didn't
got
go
our
that
asses
well.
kicked.
Yeah, she kind of thumped you, but good. Mind you, that was sort of GM fiat thumping, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, they have to get away here.
There's this thing called a plot.
So, you guys have left the badly damaged NSEA headquarters. Nobody seems to have died in the attack, which is good.
That is good.
And it is probably early evening at this point.
Okay. Well. Let's see here. So we decided, I know, last week where we were going to go from here. I don't remember it though because I was in sick mode, and right now I am in healthy mode.
Well, basically, you guys had sort of said, I guess we could either look into tracking down the Phantom further, or deal with the cult thing.
The cult's got to get taken care of.
Yeah.
Or we could split the party and do both, but you know.
Or we could do that and make Peter hate us.
If you are really dead set on tracking down the cold, I guess we can do that. But I mean, considering the events that have happened,
Yeah.
I really don't want to leave the Phantom on the back burner for long.
Yeah. No. That's a good point too. Yeah, we should split the party to make Peter hate us. Now, Aaron's sort of the nominal leader, so I will defer to his to his judgment on which needs to happen first.
All right. Well, let's see. How are we going to go about tracking down the Phantom if we do that then? What leads would we have left on that? He asked John.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't remember if we had any leads left. We set it all up, but then it kind of went dry.
I think the doppelganger's still in custody.
This is true.
It's true.
Yeah,
We could try figuring out how he came into contact with the Phantom.
Listen, yeah, not a bad idea.
Yeah, we could go beat up the doppelganger for a while.
Because they'll feel better.
We should.
We're the good guys.
We should also not have the Doctor do interrogations, because I'm playing a good guy, which limits my interrogation capabilities.
We should have John do that. Yes.
Yes.
Let's see. It is probably our best bet. Hmm. Nah, that probably wouldn't work. Never mind. So were the Atlanteans the only two people that Superiana broke out?
Yes, they were the only two that she liberated, yes.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Oh, we also, but in addition to the doppelganger, have all of the henchmen that were working for the Elaine, so maybe one of them will crack.
This is true.
They had to be contacted by somebody, so
Mm.
maybe one of them knows something.
Yep, so you got that. You do have the doppelganger, and the doppelganger is in FBI custody currently, I believe.
So, you guys are good with that?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Okay.
Sounds ideal. Let's go take care of the doppelganger.
All right, so you want to interrogate the doppelganger.
I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that if he's in FBI custody.
Well,
It's possible.
we could ask nicely. We could ask nicely as a distraction for John to sneak in and get him.
This is the best possible plan. Let's do it.
Best possible plan, I think. Okay.
Hang on, a few weeks ago, you guys were against me breaking into somebody's
I'm not
apartment.
entirely sure if I was being serious when I said that. Let's go the cooperative route.
Probably is the best way.
All right, so how are you going to ask the FBI? What's your plan?
Very nicely. I guess that, let's see. How are we going to, do we have any means of contacting them other than just asking the NSCA to do so?
Well, technically, they have a field office in Star City.
Oh, well, there we go. Let's go there.
Okay.
Okay. You guys head over to the FBI field office.
Is there a way we can call ahead first?
They have phones, and the FBI usually is listed.
Let's let them know
Wait a
we're
minute.
coming
Phones?
first.
That's ridiculous for superheroes. We normally just burst into the window.
Let's go ahead and tell them we're coming first.
All right. So you want to call the FBI?
And we'll let them know that we would like to follow up on the issue we encountered where we helped them to capture the doppelganger.
Okay.
We were involved in that.
All right. So I assume where are you going to call them from? Is my first question.
Let's call them from our phone.
Okay. So you go back to base.
Yes,
Who's placing the call?
I am.
Okay.
That is probably the wisest decision.
All right. The phone rings a few times, and the phone picks up. This is FBI field office, Star City. How can I help? How can I direct your call?
This is Errant of the Star City Sentinels. I would like to... Did we ever learn the name of the agent that was...
Nope.
Nope. Shice. Okay. Alright. Okay, hang on. We would like to arrange a meeting to follow up on an investigation that began on the night of, and I'll give the date of the incident.
I see, Mr. Errant. One moment. Let me direct your call to someone who might be able to help you with this.
Thank
Hold
you.
on. You're put on hold. There's old music.
Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line.
No, you don't get that.
Do 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 do.
And then the
Hey,
phone
it's
picks
Girl
up.
from Ipanema.
This is SSA Ward. How can I help you?
I will repeat my spiel from what I told the first person to answer the phone.
So this is an errant. Oh, right. Yeah, Sentinels, local heroes working. Okay, you guys are all registered with the NSEA, I believe. Give me a minute. You hear basically him sort of type. You hear him typing on the keyboard a bit. Uh-huh. All right. Oh, so you want to follow up? Oh, okay. That's what this is about. Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate the fact that you're not going into particular details in the phone. That's good. Other than the date, which is unavoidable if you want to get any sort of identification across. Right. Your key's clicking again. Let me check with the chief, and I'll be right back. Give me about 5 minutes.
All right.
Do you mind holding for that time?
No.
All right. Puts you on hold again.
Do, 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 do.
5 minutes passes.
Drumming fingers.
Another couple of minutes pass. After about 8 to 9 minutes, somewhere in that range, phone picks up again. This is SSA Ward again. Errant, was it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, you guys can come on down, and in the morning if you would like to meet with the agent in charge of the case, and they would be happy to discuss things with you and see how we could how you could be of assistance, or we could be of assistance to you.
All right.
He will be in the office. He'll be in the office at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So, what time is good for you guys?
9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
9 o'clock in the morning. First thing. Okay. You will be meeting with SSA Smith. No relation to to our compatriot over the NSEA. And we'll see you tomorrow, I guess.
All right.
Have a pleasant evening.
All right. I'll hang up.
Yep.
I turn to John. We're meeting with an Agent Smith.
What?
Another Agent Smith.
There's two of them?
Yes.
Was there cloning involved?
Probably not.
Does this one have a goatee? Because that would mean he's...
Maybe.
He's like Angel Twin. Wait, I'm pretty sure I saw a movie where there was
Aaron's
agents
going to bed because he's not
cloning
in the
themselves.
movies. Got his ass handed to him by a powerful supervillain, not in the mood for joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. All right. Beyond that, before you wander off errant, you feel something tugging sort of at sort of the back of your shirt or so.
Yes, what is it?
Mark.
Mark, okay. Yes,
You-
what is it?
Tony is holding up a what looks like a sheet of schematics for what looks like a large, vehicle. Sort of, it looks a bit like a very sporty-looking van.
You want to build this?
Mark.
Okay, is there a list of what you would need for it?
He basically points at the he basically points at the fact he basically sort of gestures to turn the pages.
Okay, I'll page through it.
It lists all the schematics and specifications and the parts required to build it. Then he holds up a piece of paper and says, if you'd like to go, please go over the schematics and let me know if there's anything that you think that is either missing or not needed. And if you can put in a word with, and then if you could find a way to provide the parts, I could build this for you guys.
All right, then.
Are we getting a Sentinel mobile? I'm so down with a Sentinel mobile.
Yes, it looks that way.
Awesome.
Mark.
Yes. Thank you, Tony.
Mark. With that, he goes waddling off back to the. He was waddling off to the living room and plunks down on the sort of levers himself up onto the couch and plunks down on it and turns on the Discovery Channel.
Awesome.
Are you sure he's not watching the History Channel?
No, he's watching the Discovery Channel.
Are you sure he's not watching Ancient Aliens?
I'm very sure.
Why would you
Someone
want?
watch Ancient Aliens.
Why would you want to watch that?
The only reason to watch Ancient Aliens, as far as I'm concerned, is for the chance, the very good chance, that the insane lunatic they have in virtually every episode, who has hair like a frickin' centauri, will be
Yeah,
on.
that guy. I remember seeing some episodes of that show because my crazy as fuck teacher in high school wanted us to think about the possibilities that were out there, and I was just like, no. It's like, we see these famous structures, they line up with constellations, but only if they're all built at the same time. No. Anyway, so yeah, I guess that I'll go through the schematics then.
Yeah. Honestly, it's basically a very tough, well-armored van that's quite fast, it looks like, and that can... it doesn't seem to be particularly well... It doesn't seem to be armed, but it does have... it's very tough, basically, it's effectively armored. It has very good sort of communications rigs on it. Looks like it has some sort of satellite uplink built into it. And there are a few things that you look at and you think it might actually be able to convert into something that could theoretically fly.
So what
You're not
saying
sure
is that-
how well.
It doesn't turn into a robot at all.
Also, it does seem to, looking at the numbers on it, looking at some of the numbers, it looks like he's got the hull rated in the amount of pressures it can actually how much pressure it can actually withstand.
Good grief.
And it is very clearly airtight.
So what you're saying is it's one of the finest non-lethal military vehicles ever made.
If it,
You wouldn't be talking about the Herc of a battle jet, would you?
It doesn't matter. We have to stop Casanova Frankenstein.
New plan.
anybody can throw a knife.
Doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't be able to see. Anyway, okay, so
Is it odd that we all know that movie?
Not really.
I think that it's good that we all do.
Yeah.
Let me see here. So, all right, I'll let the other two go over it, and then if they're content with it, then we'll place the call, I guess, to to Dr. Knight. Say, hey, remember how we saved your life? Yeah, well.
Give us the stuff so Tony Wark can build this awesome thing.
Yeah. Penguin's been watching Mask. We want one.
But yeah,
I think after doing that, I'm going to, instead of going to bed, I'm going to go on patrol instead.
okay. The streets are surprisingly quiet, actually. There's very few people out and about. I mean, beyond the usual sort of normal business stuff. But you actually like all the people you would normally see out about that are sort of affiliated with various gangs are nowhere to be seen.
Interesting. I'll actually make a note of this because considering the activities that I know are up.
Yep.
The calm before the storm.
Yes. Actually, that's not entirely true.
Oh, okay.
I need to look up a name here. Hold on a second.
Chat. See, Mr. Knight, our penguin wants to build us a submarine jet van. Get out.
Uh, actually, as the evening is winding down, as you're planning on heading back after seeing it's basically dead, you actually, as you're sort of idling at a stoplight, you actually hear a voice call it, "Hey, essay!"
Oh, those guys.
It's just one of them.
Oh, even more curious.
Yep. He sort of gestures you over.
Okay, well, I'll get over to the side of the road then.
How you doing, Holmes?
Hey.
All right, look. Just wanted to let you know, you probably noticed there's basically nobody out and about tonight, right?
Seems that way.
Yeah, so, yeah, word's gone down around the place that, around about the, the various circles in town to, that something big is going to be happening and that, anybody who wants to keep their head should stay off the streets. Supposedly this is coming down from some of the, I've been hearing it ties into something going on with the Ruskies.
The Russians?
Yeah. And apparently they've given fair warning that there's going to be something big going on involving them, and that anybody who doesn't want to get caught in the crossfire might want to stay off the streets for a few nights.
Like some sort of war?
That's what I thought, and that's what the El Jefe thought. So we figured, yeah, given how much we got our asses kicked by those lunatics with the magic, we figured between that and the Russians, we're gonna lay low for a little while. But I saw you driving by and figured, you might want to know.
Any idea where it's going to happen?
If anybody knows, I wasn't told.
All right. Thanks.
But when when Jefe says to keep off the streets,
I got it.
Yeah. Take care, SA.
It ain't easy being a small-time Latino street gang. All right. I'll thank him for the information, and I'm gonna head home then.
Yeah, he nods and ducks back ducks back down an alley.
All right. I'm gonna pass on the information to the team. So let's see. No idea where or when it's gonna happen, but okay. I'm going to bet that a 9 o'clock meeting should not affect us from getting there. 9 a.m. seems kind of like a weird time for this type of stuff to happen. But yeah, I guess would just giving us warning of something that might happen soon. Okay. Let's see here. So yeah, I'll go to bed and I guess get ready for the meeting tomorrow.
All right.
Anything you guys want to do?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
No, I'm good for now.
Did kind of have my entire back turned into a huge bruise when Superiana knocked me through a wall. So I could take a 2-hour-long shower and use all the hot water. Or I could use the whirlpool back at my actual house. I'm going to go use the whirlpool back at my actual house.
You guys can sleep in this pigsty if you want.
All right. Well, then it is morning. And you guys head to your meeting at 9 o'clock at the FBI field office. Um, you walk in, and it's surprisingly busy given that it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm.
There are a bunch of people sort of moving about, talking. You see people. Well, you see various. You see agents walking down the hall, very rapidly talking to each other, looking like they're headed into meetings and such. The guy at the desk looks up and says, "Ah, the Sentinel's right. You got a meeting with SSA Smith. It's going to be in conference room 3. I'll let him know that you're here, and he'll be down to bring you to the conference room in just a minute."
All right, thank you.
And he basically, says, "Agent Smith, yeah, your 9 o'clock's here, right? Yep, thank you. Bye." Click. Star City FBI field office. How can I direct your call? One moment. And basically you hear that him answering the phone constantly over the next 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not 20 minutes, because you were quickly met by you quickly hear say Sentinels.
Away we go.
Right. Yep.
You turn around and you see a woman wearing a very fairly classic sort of FBI style suit. She's got long black hair. She's somewhat tall for a woman. I'm SSA Janine Smith. Welcome to the FBI. Please follow me.
So what you're saying is Dr. Arcane's hopes that S.A. Smith would have a goatee are dashed.
Yes.
So
Well.
she now lands firmly in the evil clone category, because all
What?
clones are female.
What? Since when?
Since, actually, I seem to remember that's actually true. All our attempts at cloning have produced females. Real life science, or at least as of a couple years ago.
Huh.
So how does that make her evil?
Shut up! She's a clone. They're automatically evil.
She leads you down the hallway and into a conference room. She says, "Please be seated. There's a reinforced chair there for you, Dr. Arcane."
I will sit down there.
She sits down at the table and says, "Sorry, you've come at a somewhat busy time. There's been some activity that's going on that it's been a busy morning. That's all I can really say. So what is it you guys wanted?"
We'd like to check with the doppelganger that was taken into your custody.
Ah. Any particular reason why?
We've been encountering a number of villains that all seem to have been in contact with the Phantom. He's one of them. And currently, he's our only lead worth really checking up with.
I see. Well, we were actually going to be turning him over to the NSEA today because they technically have jurisdiction over extraplanar beings, or I don't know if extraplanar, mythological, magical, whatever he is.
I'll come up with the actual term.
She sort of waves her hand a bit and says, "Okay, anyways, but with the break-in by Superiana last night, they've asked us to hang on to him for a little while because they don't really have facilities to hold him right now until they have some repairs done. All right. Well, you guys are legit. We checked into that. So you want to actually talk to the doppelganger. Technically speaking, if he's in our custody, we really our policy would be to say hell no. And he technically is still in our custody, but we're planning on turning over to the NSCA, and they seem to have a better relationship with you guys. They seem to have a working relationship with you guys. And honestly, you guys probably could get more out of him than we've been able to. All right. All right. I need to check with the chief and place a call to the NSCA. Might be able to arrange something for you guys.
All right, we appreciate it.
In the meantime, it's going to take me a few minutes. Should I send someone to bring you guys coffee?
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Someone will be in with coffee in a minute or two. I'll catch someone out in the hall. Sorry for the delay on this, but as I said, we have to liaise with the NSCA on this. We'll see.
Understood.
With that, she walks out of the room. About 5 minutes later, the door opens again, and another agent walks in with basically a tray with a bunch of coffee, with a bunch of cups of coffee and paper cups, and little thing with like sugar and non-dairy creamer, and some not particularly amazing looking pastries. These sort of quote Danishes end quote that you get in like police stations and such.
Right.
Sort of the technically they are probably quote fresh end quote, but they don't really come across as actually being fresh. Some of these seem stale.
Well, I'm not having any anyway, so.
It would be rude not to.
Keep telling yourself that.
Well, the coffee is not very good. The coffee is not very good, and the Danishes are. You think fruit might have died to make the filling, but
Right.
but somehow it's like
I'll have exactly enough for to satisfy protocol, and then I am done.
it's like, the coffee is technically coffee, and the Danish is tastes like it was probably in a plastic wrapper a bit ago.
Okay.
Time passes. After about 20 minutes, the door opens, and Agent Smith pokes her head in again and says, all right, we've got a tentative go-ahead from Agent Smith over at the NSCA. The chief's just working out the actual details and making sure we're not doing anything technically illegal by letting you do this.
Right.
As long as we can sort of, hand wave it, we'll be fine. But give us another couple minutes and we'll be all set.
Okay.
She ducks back out. And about 5 to 10 minutes later, the door opens again, and she's standing there along with a older man with sort of graying hair, wearing an impeccably tailored suit. She says, "This Sentinels, this is Chief Allenby of the he's the chief of the Star City office." And Allenby sort of nods his head. Pleasure to meet you all. We've arranged for you people to have a meeting with the the suspect. Technically, nothing you can glean from this interview would be strict. We cannot use it in any sort of legal sense. But if you were to use any, if some of the information were to lead to you doing something, leads you all to take action, we would have no objection to that. So we cannot record it or have an FBI agent in the room with you. There will be an agent observing, but technically we cannot be directly involved in this.
Okay.
That says Agent Smith will show you down to Interrogation 3, where we brought the suspect. And good luck. Now, excuse me, I have several fires to put out.
All right.
You are shown down to the holding room, to the interrogation room. There is you see the doppelganger sitting in the chair. He is currently restrained only by a thin loop of what looks like sort of a silvery metal looped around one wrist that is tied to the chair.
Huh.
Is it magical in any way? Almost certainly.
The metal?
Yes.
No, it doesn't actually seem to be magical. And the metal itself does not seem to be magical.
Does it
What kind
look
of metal
like
is
this?
It's hard to tell by just looking at it. It looks like silver to you.
That might be it, actually.
That might be plenty, actually.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well,
The doppelganger looks like
that actually tells me a lot about what kind of doppelganger it is, too.
The doppelganger looks somewhat sort of looks like that particular arm is somewhat uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It hurts us. It burns.
Well, he's not Fey, but he's definitely, is it demonic or... No, demons don't care about silver. Do they?
Anyway. I'm going to enter the room and sit down.
The doppelganger sort of stops scratching at his arm, looks up, and says, "Ah,
Hello again.
You all." You were here to ask me questions.
Oh,
Yes.
Ask away.
Well, it seems that you weren't lying to us when you indicated that you didn't really know much about who your employers were. In fact, they told us the same thing once we eventually did catch up to them. That there was a bit of respective contact that you had that set you up together.
Ah, Pravdenye. You want to know about the Phantom.
Yes.
I see, I see. The doppelganger sort of shrugs eloquently and leans back in his chair and says, "Well, I might be willing to discuss details, but this leads ever to the question: what's in it for me?"
Same thing that would be in it for anyone else who was willing to testify against a criminal. You'd probably be given a liar's sentence if your information that you provided helped lead to his capture. Or hers.
I see.
Peter, can I make a cryptozoology roll
Sure.
so that I can figure out just what this type of doppelganger might want?
Sure.
He wants candy.
Um, Honestly, you don't remember any particular details, but if you remember correctly, they are at least the ones that venture into sort of the normal world do seem to be very fond of accumulating wealth, particularly gold.
Go. Go!
Money might be his thing.
And you actually are fairly certain you know the reason why they favor gold. That's because it is it is most widely recognized as being valuable on the various sort of
Right.
subplanes and such.
So like having, yeah, okay.
Everyone accepts gold.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, I made that offer. So I'm going to let's see. Let's start with some of the simple things. How did you come to be contacted by the Phantom, or did you seek him out yourself?
Well, that's harmless. I can tell you that easily. Honestly, I happen to be in the general vicinity of this fair city, and I had feelers out into the various, I guess you could say, recruiters that are out there. Um, various hangouts for ne'er-do-wells and the like. I could tell you where these places are, but the locations shift regularly, so they are very unlikely to be at the same place they were last time I was there.
So you just went to a tryout center and you were picked out?
No, I went there, let people know that I was in town, and gave them some references, and how long I'd be in town. I received a phone call a day later from a cell phone from that was the individual on the phone claimed to be the Phantom. We discussed terms of the assignment. We discussed terms of pay. I was to receive a quarter up front and the remainder upon successful completion of the job. And I negotiated excellent legal representation in case I was captured.
So how are you paid up front then?
Oh, I received a delivery of $1,000 worth of gold bullion. Was it 1,000? For this job is more than that. 5,000, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say $1,000 of gold is like not very much at all. Like very much gold at all. Gold's expensive right now.
Yeah. No, it's
they tossed a couple coins at me.
Yeah, the initial 25% was $5,000 worth of gold. For the remaining 15,000 would be paid to me upon successful completion.
So who discussed the details of the job with you?
I discussed the person identifying themselves as the Phantom on the phone. Discussed the details of the job, where I needed to be, and at what time, and I was told an information packet on the target I would be.
That I have an unconscious member of the mafia in such and such alleyway, and I need someone else to make the drop off so that nobody knows what's up.
Oof. All right. Well, we'll have to see if we can find someone who can at least do a reasonable facsimile. Does your phone have the phone you're on have a camera?
I would think it
Almost
does.
certainly.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah, probably. Could
So,
you
yeah,
like text us? Text a. He gives you a number. Text me a photo. Text me a photo. The photo of the guy in the alley, and we'll see what we can do.
right. Yeah, I'll do so.
And give me a rough estimate of how tall he is in his general
Yep.
build.
Yeah, such and such. Yeah, okay.
All right. All right. We'll see what we can do.
If I'm not back in 10 minutes, wait longer.
Yeah. All right. Oh God, this means I have to work with Smith and Lou, doesn't it?
Yes, it seems to be that.
Lovely.
Yes.
As long as I understand this is technically our jurisdiction and our thing, I'm fine. Oh, look at that! I've got a call coming in on the line, the Chief's line. Yep. All right. That's almost certainly to let me know that we're going to be doing a joint op with the NSEA. Thanks for the heads up, and we'll send someone out there shortly.
Thank you, Agent.
Click. Approximately 20 minutes later, someone does a nondescript car pulls up, and a guy who looks hauntingly like the guy you actually got in the alley walks in.
Not as good as me, though.
Well, no. Like I said, he's sort of it's sort of the same general build and general.
Yeah, if it were you, it would be like, oh my god, it's his twin brother.
Right.
Okay, so yeah. I'm assuming you're the one they sent.
Yeah. All right. So where's the orchid?
I'll hold it up, I guess.
Right.
And
Medvedev for the wife. And apology. Got it. His apology. All right. He's good. Yeah.
I guess I'll be taking this guy.
Yeah. Just toss him in the back there. My partner will drive him back into custody.
All right. Good luck.
Yeah. And he goes off walking down the street.
All right. We'll throw the body in the trunk.
Well, actually, sort of just shove him in the back seat.
Shove the body in the trunk now.
When did he die?
I was making a joke. Look, it's hard to be non-lethal with a sword. No.
It's got a flat end on it.
I have no idea how the hell he's managed to fight crime this long without doing that, actually.
Well, it's
Lots of practice.
It's a super tech sword. It's got it's designed to be able to be used non-lethally somehow.
Yes, that's it. No.
It's only lethal
right.
when you fight nothing but robots.
There you go. Yeah.
So the turtles do it.
That's how Samurai Jack did it.
Yeah.
Bathed in blood.
Oil.
Oil.
Totally oil. Totally not blood. Totally
Not a
not the,
facsimile for blood at all.
not the black life's blood of these artificial life forms at all. Not in the least.
You know, it was still fine even when they started to get personalities, like that one horrifying episode about the mafia member that was sympathetic, and then he killed him anyway.
Right. That's actually an interesting point from Darkvolt. Eric trained with the Green Knight. How did he learn to hold back?
Well, the Green Knight's still got a sense of honor, and he's not a bully. He's not a my opponent's down. Can kick his teeth in.
Gav, the Green Knight was introduced in a story in which he specifically tried to behead Gawain.
Oh yeah, but
Well, to be fair, it's because Gawain beheaded him first.
Yeah. And also, in fairness, he asked for that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, he specifically said, whatever you do to me, I'll do back to you.
Okay, so, I guess then that I will head for that area, and I guess I'll try and stay in contact to see. Of course, I'll tell Dr. Eric Kane about the situation.
Do, 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 do.
And other than that, I guess I'll wait in the area where things are expected to happen for the NSDA, the FBI, and so on to arrive or to contact me or anything like that.
Yep. Okay.
Until then, if anything else happens at the flower shop, all that stuff.
Right. So I'm actually going to go back to the flower shop now.
Yeah.
Gav.
Yes.
Eventually, it's closing time. And the young woman who works behind the counter, eventually, the young woman who works there leaves. She sort of waves back into the shop, gets in her car and drives off.
Mm-hmm.
About 10 minutes later, a very stylish limo, effectively limo, not a stretch, but a limo pulls up.
Yeah.
A driver gets out. And as he's walking around to open the door, you notice the front door of the shop opens, and the shopkeeper walks out, locks the door behind him, and as he basically turns around, as he's getting to, it's amazing that by the time he's basically locked the door and turned around and is walking to the car, the driver has walked around the side of the car and has opened the door just as the shopkeeper, the owner is walking, gets to the car.
So it's like a practiced.
Yes.
Yeah.
He nods to the driver, gets into the car, the driver closes the door, walks back around, gets in, and starts driving off.
Can I pull some sort of hero bullshit out of my ass that I've got some sort of tracking device?
You can spend a hero point to say that, yes.
Yes. Then I'll jog over, keep myself low, jog over to the car and put something on the back just before it disappears.
Absolutely. Give me a stealth check.
And that's where it all goes wrong.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
No, it really doesn't.
No, it does. The exact opposite. It all goes right.
You do a backflip while still staying stealth.
I'm actually I actually go through the car, get out the door in front of him, walk around the back.
I've got his wallet now. Let's see. $15. What a jip.
Yeah, travel 3 blocks while sat next to him.
All right, and and the car drives off.
Okay.
Very quietly. The car is honestly, yeah, actually, Gav, it is in fact a Rolls Royce of some sort. It looks sort of, it's a fairly new one and fairly angular looking.
It's Fab 1 then.
Fab 1 is not a roller.
Yes, it is.
It's definitely not Fab 1, I'll tell you that.
The car that should never be able to turn.
They built one for the
It turns
Thunderbirds
like
movie.
a brick.
No, bricks turn better than that thing. I saw it on Top Gear. James May tried to drive that thing.
Oh dear.
It worked in a straight line, sort of. No, it's actually a Rolls-Royce Phantom.
Okay.
Ooh. Wow, super fancy.
Well, yeah.
Just a new one. Oh, it's called the Phantom. What else do you think he's going to drive? Seriously, the clues are all there.
All right, fair
Yeah,
point.
I'll bet that he dresses in purple.
No, he really doesn't.
No, but he's going to an Andrew Lloyd Webber show.
But it was a reference.
Yes, and he doesn't go that far.
But I will bet that the Phantom he's driving in is white.
No, it's black.
No.
Actually, I don't think they actually make them in black. I think they're all basically silver.
Anyway,
I forget if Rolls-Royce actually does do different colors of that thing. I'll have to look that up later.
See, I was going to try and take out the driver and knock him out, but then I realised that if he's that practiced and well known with him, I'm going to stand out like a sore thumb if I don't know what's expected of him.
Yep.
So I won't go for that. See, I do think things through.
occasionally.
I do use my brain.
And you did pick up on that little thing I dropped for you. Well done, Gav. It was supposed to be a subtle warning to that if you try that, it might have some interesting consequences.
It's like, okay, hi boss.
Why are you talking to me?
Where do we go?
Why are you speaking English?
Because I'm currently driving you to the Star City Sentinels holding cells.
When did you learn English?
Most curiously, because I know for a fact that you have been mute your entire life. Otro class.
Oh, no, they actually do make the Phantom in purple.
And black as well, yeah.
Okay, it's totally purple.
Oh, that's nice.
Just because.
That's a nice purple.
It looks awesome. Take a look at that link Glasgow and put in the chat.
Ooh, it is pretty sharp.
Oh, that is nice.
It's very sharp.
That's like the only possible cool purple for a car.
That's fucking awesome.
That's TVR purple, is that?
Yeah. Except that it's a Rolls-Royce Phantom and it's not a piece. Therefore, it actually will work and not fall apart.
Yeah. Nice.
Unlike TVRs, which are made of plastic and
The kit cars, they were built in a garage. Literally, the guy
Yeah.
who started building TVRs in his shed.
yeah, and then they were bought out by Russian businessmen at some point.
Yeah.
The Phantom is an awesome car. I just want to say
It
this.
is.
All right, so you've got a
Cool.
tracking device on the Phantom's Phantom,
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
or at least the person you think is the Phantom's Phantom.
Yes.
Actually, for Spot, I don't particularly want a Phantom.
The clothes are there.
They're not very practical, especially in, like, say, Boston.
Yeah. And the price.
Just yeah, it's not on my list of cars I'd want if money was no object.
It's kind of a shame though when you look at the Rolls-Royce website and the first thing they show you is jet engines.
Yeah.
In fact, it's all about aerospace and nothing about cars on there at all. Who owns it? Who owns Rolls-Royce?
That's because Rolls-Royce. There are two Rolls-Royces. Rolls-Royce makes engines. The Rolls-Royce cars are made by Volkswagen.
Ah, fucking
I
Germans.
believe that
Rolls-Royce
I know.
actually produces most of the engines for the British Air Force, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know about 5 years ago that I think it was Saab advertised their cars by saying, "We used to make jets." You know?
Oh no,
Yep.
that was
Yeah.
that was like in
I
the
remember
that was like in the late '80s, early '90s. They did that. They've been doing that.
Yeah, I
for
remember
ages.
that.
That was their shtick. Is that we actually make the planes for the Swedish Air Force.
Yeah, basically, if it's in the UK Air Force, more than likely it's got a Rolls-Royce jet engine.
And Saab is no more. They're out of business.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that didn't work.
Well, they were eventually bought out by Ford for a while, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. I think there's only Jaguar left. That's a purely British company. Or did they get bought out as well?
I think they're still around. I know that Top Gear did something about the 50th anniversary of the Jag.
Jaguar is no, Jaguar is owned by the same company that owns Aston.
Oh, that's the Martins. Yeah, yeah.
Is Lotus still independent? I forget.
Not sure.
Rover's gone.
To Volkswagen, I think. They got bought out and then because they. What did Rover build? Was it the Mini? I think the Mini was a Rover to start off with.
Well, I don't know, the Land Rover and the Range Rover.
Yeah.
Rover's BMW, that's right. Thank you, Bulgarian.
Yeah. BMW, that's it.
And
Anywho,
Anyway. Yeah, we could sidetrack there.
sorry about that. So yes, what are you all doing at this point? I believe, Nikki, you said you're heading over to the area where the gang war is supposedly going to be happening.
yes.
I suppose I should head over there also. Although I'm kind of super conspicuous.
You think, Eric?
Just a little conspicuous.
And what are you doing, John?
Well, I'll be walking, I guess.
Where to, in particular? Anywhere?
Out to wherever that tracking device ends up.
Oh, okay. So you're going in that general... You're basically going to follow the tracking device. Got it.
We need to get the John Doe mobile, which is a completely nondescript sedan. Just a few years out of date.
It's actually a taxi that he can summon at will, get in the back seat and say, "Follow that car."
Now, there's a power.
That is a power. That's an awesome power, actually.
All right, so you guys, so you two end up in the area where the gang war is supposed to be happening. Gav, you're following the car. Got it. Okay. All right, so let's see. I got to work out exactly what happens at this point. I just got to check my timeline for when things are supposed to happen and what's happened in relation to them. 1 second. All right. That delay happens there. That happens there. That info happens that way. Huh. Okay. Alrighty. So, all right. So, Nick, you
Yeah.
and Nick and Eric, you guys are
Yes.
in the part of town where the gang war is supposed to be happening.
Mhm.
The first thing you notice, I need a perception check from both of you, actually.
Doop-a-doo, what is my perception?
I sees it.
I also might possibly see it.
All right, you two both do notice some stuff. What you do notice is that, Aaron, you pick up actually very quickly. You quickly notice the various members of various federal agencies in the area. Sort of like, doing a remarkably good job of sort of, being sort of observing things undercover while not standing out, but you are able to pick up on them because you rolled that well.
And also I knew that they were going to be there.
That also helps, yes. Eric, you don't notice as many of them, obviously, but you think you notice one or two that are you notice people that are clearly watching the area, and you guess they're probably federal agents.
Gotcha.
Eventually, you notice that there is a group of about 5 people who are all sort of actually, what you notice is a couple cars pull up outside a building.
Mhm.
And about 5 guys get out. They all look like tough guys.
Mhm.
Aaron, you are actually happen to be you guys both are sort of in the general area. Aaron, with your role, you actually are fairly certain they are all armed.
Okay.
Before you actually move in to do anything, with your role, you do notice, very briefly, you happen to be sort of across the street from where they're getting out of the car. You notice that one of the guys, as he's walking towards the building, he sees the leader of the group. He's a big, burly guy. He's wearing, honestly, he's wearing a tracksuit, basically.
Huh.
Uh, and he basically, he's wearing sort of sweatpants, sort of looks like he's wearing a wife beater, and he's got a sort of a tracksuit jacket that's open, and you can catch a glimpse of the guns he's got in sort of in holsters under the jacket. You notice that as he's turning to walk towards the building, that there is a single red dot in the center of his forehead. Let's just say that the red dot goes away fairly quickly.
As does his head.
Yeah, and he sort of goes. He drops very quickly as you hear you both hear a very quiet sort of coughing noise.
Am I able to track where it came from?
That will be another perception check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric, you get to make one also. You being Ariel will get a slight bonus for this, actually.
Came from
Oh,
over there.
Jesus.
You see everything, both of you. Yeah, it's
Okay.
coming from the building behind the building these guys were headed towards.
Huh.
On the
Alright.
upper floor.
Which window?
That one. You know which window it is.
I'm flying straight through the window into the shooter.
Nice. All right. What are you doing, Aaron?
I'll actually say
that
over
I can see Dr. Arcane heading in that direction.
Yeah. Actually, Eric just said that will let you know that he's doing that.
Got him. I got him.
Okay. So I'll let him take care of that, considering he can get there way more quickly than I can.
Yes, he can.
And I guess I will wait for chaos to break out and
Chaos breaks out.
Okay. So,
As the four other goons pull out guns and start looking around, and eventually they start running towards the building across the street. The one that that their boss is moving towards.
right.
Eric,
Yes.
as you go flying towards the window, it's an open window. You see somebody sort of sitting in there in the dark with a rifle, looking out. They look up at you, look surprised, and crack off a shot at you, actually.
Very professional, actually. Okay.
1 second, I just need to look one thing up.
Well,
Power 32 rifle.
well,
It won't be that good.
they said the message said that there weren't going to be women and children involved. Said nothing about the fight being fair.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Fair fights are for suckers.
Exactly.
All right. I'm just going to roll a quick d20 here.
I like to imagine the guy in the tracksuit had like a freaking
Okay.
bandana prepared to tie his hand together with someone else's that they could do a knife fight like in Beat It.
All right. Therefore, Eric, I just rolled to see whether he got a crit or not. Because I'm saying he hits, but since he didn't crit, he doesn't get the... Sniper rifles have an expanded crit range.
Okay.
But it is a damage 5 attack, so DC 20 toughness save.
Ping.
Yeah, it spangs off your armor. And you fly through the window, through the open window. I assume you're basically trying to tackle him at this point.
Yeah.
All right, give me a melee attack. So this is not your range attack bonus, so whatever your...
Right. Actually, need to look that up real quick.
I will just say this, his parry is not very good since he's carrying a sniper rifle. And you're getting circumstance bonuses for the... Wait, what the hell?
So that'd be my fighting plus my appropriate skill, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not roll very well at all.
9. Well, with your circumstance bonuses and the penalties he has for the situation, i.e., he's has just stood up from his sniping position to fire off a shot at you. He's a very good shot, but yeah. You barrel into him. And honestly, Eric, yeah.
Honestly, with the amount of lead up I have, probably easily 500 to 600 pounds of just straight up iron.
Yeah, you barrel into him, and he's out.
Gotcha.
He's paste.
No, he's unconscious.
I did not. I am specifically not pasting him.
But as you slam into him, he goes flying back across the room, slams to the wall, and goes, ugh, and slumps to the ground unconscious. And his gun rattles to the floor. All right, Errant, what are you doing?
I will move into, I guess, attack the 4 remaining goons.
All right, you can attack. You can easily attack 2 of them. You probably, if you are willing to expose yourself, you could attack 3.
I might as well just attack 2. I imagine that some of the agents are going to start moving in anyway.
Yep.
So, since I'm attacking 2, then this is going to be a bit lower against each of them. So,
Yep. Give me a stealth check, by the way.
Okay. God.
Yeah, they have no idea you're coming. They are effectively helpless against this.
Aaron's
Okay.
a goddamn ninja.
That's actually a 21. That's actually a 17.
Yeah, those both would hit anyways. So,
So those are crits. So
yeah.
I think they're down.
Yes, they are. A thwack, thud, thud. The other 2 goons go, wait, what?
Tech Savory dust cloud and 2 goons go flying out of it.
Yeah. What? Oh no. I'm debating whether discretion is the better part of valor at this point for them. Let's see, their boss was just sniped, and a superhero just knocked the other 2 out. Yeah, they dropped their guns and put their hands in the air. They're like, screw this. We are not dying for this.
When they get themselves up, I'm going to point towards the building that they were headed towards. And I'm going to say, is the main meeting happening there?
As you ask that, actually, Errant, you hear gunfire.
I'll take that as a yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, bullets miss you. However, bullets hit the 2 guys who just surrendered.
Ooh.
Dope.
I was unlucky.
Yes, it was. These are toughness saves for those 2. Okay. Neither of them are dead, but they're badly hit and dropped to the ground. They're bleeding, but they weren't hit like in lethal areas.
Okay.
One gets hit in the leg. The other gets hit in the shoulder and spins to the ground. They are out of the fight, but
Okay. I'm going to try and seek out where the gunfire came from.
came from the building across the way there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to head towards it, trying to get cover as I go along.
All right, so you go dashing in. You actually hear the FBI and the NSEA moving in also at this point.
All right.
They're moving in different areas because you hear gunfire from different parts of the area also going off at this point.
Okay.
So you go heading towards the building. Eric, what are you doing now?
All right, guys down.
Oh yeah.
All right, he's down. He's out of the fight. Back in the sky. I need to see where I need to be next.
There is. You see Errant running towards the building. There are 2 guys that look like they've been clubbed unconscious by Errant. 2 guys who are on the ground bleeding, and a very dead guy.
Right, the one with the exploding blood sausage for a head.
Yes. There's gunfire in a couple of other areas where other cars have pulled up, and between guys behind cars and such. You also hear shouts of federal agents, stand down, from various places. And there's
Right.
sirens going off also. There's one firefight that looks like the federal agents are looks like there are more gang members there than there are federal agents by a noticeable margin.
Then I will move to support the feds.
Okay, so you move to support the feds. As you fly, you sort of swoop in. You see what you notice as you're moving in is that the gang members, these particular groups, while they've lost a few members, the sound of federal agents all. These guys seem to be a bit more hot-headed than some of the other groups who basically look like they're basically standing down at this point, because they're not stupid enough to actually, shoot it out with the cops in this situation.
Right.
This group, on the other hand, not so much. They've decided that whatever the beef between their two families might be, the feds have to go.
Gotcha.
And you see Agent Smith sort of leaning over a car as bullets sort of slam into the armored car he's been driving. He's got some sort of high-tech blaster in his hands.
Cool.
That makes, honestly, you're guessing it's a sonic blaster of some sort by the noises it's making. What you notice is that while his group is outnumbered, when he shoots, one of the guys on the other side goes down.
Gotcha.
The impression is, the one time you thought you saw him miss, it turns out he took out someone behind him, behind the guy you thought he was shooting at with a bigger gun.
Okay, so Smith is frighteningly competent. Gotcha.
Yes, this is part of his limited mutant powers.
Right, because he can calculate trajectories and whatnot.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. He's a human computer.
Basically, he's always aimbotting.
Yes. Basically, yes, that is in fact accurate. But
fucking hacks, man. Fucking hacks.
On the downside, there's still it's him, and the number of agents in his area were woefully inadequate for the situation. So when you swoop in, he looks up and says, "Oh, thank God." Thunk. Any ideas, Doc?
This is kind of your bag, Bazorch.
Yeah. Normally, yeah, but we're a little outnumbered. And while I'm tough for a normal person, I've got some broken ribs thanks to Superiana, and I'm not bulletproof.
Oh, I am. I'll take care of that.
All right, so you want to sort of take point?
Yeah, I'll take point.
All right, give me a couple toughness rolls. All right, and give me another one. Yep. Okay.
Ping, 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 ping.
Yes. Bullets from an SMG go spattering off your armor, and a shot from a single handgun goes spanging off your shoulder as you walk through the spray of bullets. And the various Russian thugs are as you sort of moving towards them, sort of zorching things, as Agent Smith is taking advantage of that to knock some of the other ones down. They all have that sort of look on their faces of, oh, bloody hell.
Awesome.
It's like, tang, 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 tang. The amount of fire starts declining fairly rapidly, and it's not just due to people being knocked out.
It's sort of going, oh, all right, we're done.
Yeah. You hear guns clattering to the ground, and you hear people say, we give... And the various federal agents move in to take them out and to bring them in. You hear Smith berating one of them, saying, "What on earth were you thinking, shooting at federal agents? We thought you were other Russian mob. We identified ourselves as federal agents.
It's kind of dark in here.
It's
3
dark.
in the afternoon.
It is dark, and I do not speak English well. Good. I do not speak English good. Ja naговорю по-английски.
Oh, habla inglés?
No, none of them do that because they are Russian. Aaron, you go running up to the building you're at. If you'd like to, you could like crash through a window or a door, something dramatic.
Sure, why not?
Like. All right. It is apparently a restaurant of some sort, and you see a bunch of guys in there, all sort of, dressed in sort of, comfortable clothing that they could do,
Gunfights.
gunfights in. Yeah. And as you come crashing through the window, they all sort of look up at you as you crash through, shield out, sword in hand. And they sort of all look up, and they've got that look of, well, maybe we could take it. No, we really can't.
It's a superhero. Oh, fuck.
It's a superhero. We're not paid enough for this shit. And they've heard the sirens at this point, so they're like, do you say anything?
Drop the guns.
Okay.
So, yeah. Well, this plan seemed to work.
And the various federal agents come in and round them up.
I'm going to ask if any of the agents know if...
Yes, in fact, Agent Smith walks in, SSA Smith specifically.
Okay.
She walks in, looks around, and says, Errant.
I'm going
like-
to ask her if there's any other fights going on, because I understand this seems like a little bit too little happening to me.
Yeah, it seems. I mean, it's a pretty big firefight that's been going on, but we think seems to have things under control in this neighborhood. My guess is this is sort of the first stages of it. Yeah. I'm guessing this is not over yet, but I think we got things wrapped up in this neighborhood at least, with minimal loss of life, which is
All
good.
right, good to hear. In that case, I'm going to head out and see if there's anything I can do elsewhere.
All right. Thanks for the hand.
No problem.
All right, Gav.
Yes.
Over to you.
Huzzah.
One guy in the back. Well, if we go to Lucky, I'm sure we could critically hit him enough times. Other guy. What are the chances of that?
I like Dark Pulse too. It's the guy who took on Superiana. How are we going to outsmart Sword? All right, Gav. So you're following the tracer. The car is clearly going faster than you are because you're on foot.
Because it's not going 2 miles an hour.
You're on foot. It is a car, and it is not rush hour. So there's not a lot of traffic. And given this is a fairly modern city, the streets are laid out in such a way to minimize traffic.
Right.
This is not like
Unlike
Boston,
Boston.
London, or New York, which are almost scientifically designed to create traffic.
So it happens in all your streets designed by cows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cows?
that's basically how the Boston streets came about. They're basically they paved all the old cow paths.
That's pretty much UK as well. It's all it's all livestock routes. And the Romans, they did the big ones.
Well, yeah. Dude, the Romans were awesome.
Yeah.
I still think Hadrian's Wall is my favorite thing ever. They got far
Keep
enough
the
up north
Scottish
to
out.
see
They
the...
went far enough up north, they went, this is dumb, fuck this noise,
Okay,
I'm going home.
there are crazy guys who are painting themselves blue and are fighting naked. We're building a wall. Civilization ends here.
That's pretty much it.
That's literally what the wall says on the wall. Civilization ends here. They're like, nope, we're done. No, NNG, the Picts. They actually use a something called woad, which is a blue body paint, which had, I guess, sort of like almost like a PCP-like effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they,
Yeah.
they were,
You'd be surprised what you can find like knocking around in older countries. It's like I live in a town that was built before most of civilization.
yeah, yeah.
There's York. If you ever end up in the UK, visit York, and the actual Roman fort walls still stand, and you can
Yep.
walk them.
That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem that living in the United States. It's like, the concept of things like that are as old as Roman stuff that's still around, completely foreign here.
Yeah, we're going back into our history. 200 years. Oh, isn't that cute?
Yeah. You guys have buildings that are like...
not far from a fieldstone fence that was made when pilgrims were around, about 200 some odd years. Shut up.
Also talking about the ancient and, pharaoh memes that, Native American groups had at around the same time that, Europe was doing all sorts of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so old! Okay.
Yeah, you guys have castles that are older than the United States, period.
Yes. My town's older than the United States.
Sure, I don't doubt it.
In fact, it's called Castleford these days because it was a castle on a ford. Quite easy to work out. But its old Roman name was something like Ligiolium because it was a waypoint between London and York.
Ah.
Because Romans didn't like to put bends in roads, so basically they had to join it up at right angles.
Now, Fenrirboard does have that. We do have those ancient burial mounds in the Native Americans we kind of stole the land from.
Yeah, it's like, yay, we found something really ancient. We've got an arrowhead. So great, we're finding money buried under the floor.
I don't know. Some of the really old Native American stuff's really fucking awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like the Hopi cliff cities.
Oh, those are fucking amazing.
Like those are pretty damn slick.
Yeah.
Can I listen to the chat? The only castles in America are at Disney World and at White Castle.
No,
that's not true.
We actually do have things that could qualify as castles because they're forts,
Actually, if I remember correctly, there's at least someone who actually pulled the Xanatos and imported a British castle.
Yes, I'm certain
Nice.
there is someone who did that.
Well, the original London Bridge is in America now.
I believe that's accurate also.
They demolished it stone by stone and rebuilt a bridge in America. When they put the new Tower Bridge up, I think it was.
I think you're right, yeah. At any rate, back to game, though.
Yes.
Before we get too distracted.
Yeah.
Historical architecture.
Cool subject, but... All right, so Gav, you are trailing him as best you can.
Mm-hmm.
And as you trail him for a while, eventually you realize you're catching up for a bit. The car, basically you think, oh, well, he stopped at a stoplight, but the car stopped longer than it should be stopped for a stoplight.
Hmm.
But eventually, after you catch up for a little bit, the car goes on driving.
Oh, no.
He's on to me.
Yep.
Hmm. Okay. So basically, he thinks I'm in eyesight before it sets off again.
Well, you do not catch up in the visual side of the car at that point.
More curious then.
Actually, no, No, actually, Gav, you actually just as you get into view of the car, you see it pulling the rolls. You see it pulling up. Basically, it was parked parked outside of a coffee shop. Actually,
It's possible he's doing personal things.
it's a very upscale coffee shop, and then as you get into sight, it sort of pulls away from the curb and drives off.
Okay, before pursuing, I'm going to change my appearance.
All right, give me a deceit roll.
Deceit is +8.
Yeah, you got it activated.
I'm not sure what, just something generic.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask for anything particular. Yeah, you change your disguise. Yeah. So are you going to keep following the Phantom?
I'm just going to have a look inside the coffee shop as I pass, just to make sure that, it's just not the car that's left and he's still there.
No, it's a coffee shop. You do not see him inside. It looks like a very upscale coffee shop. Really should be termed a cafe, really, but...
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll keep walking past.
All right. You eventually are able to... Gav, give me an intellect check at +5. 18. By sort of extrapolating where the car is going, it is driving towards a garage that you know of in the area.
Okay, well, if rather than following it, then I'm going to try and get there directly.
Sure. You get there. You get there as you see the car. You actually get there not long after the car has pulled in. You can see the driver getting out of the car, closing the door, and basically, walking back to hand the keys off to one of the valets. It's a very expensive parking garage.
Mm-hmm.
And the driver seems to be walking out of the building.
But no sign of his passenger.
Nope.
Well, yeah.
Did it stop at any other point when I was following
It
it?
stopped a few times, which they were all basically length of time for a stoplight, but nothing more.
So it could still be at the coffee shop.
Right, well, I know where it's
Just got
parked.
out there,
Yeah, I know where it's parked, so I'm going to head back to the coffee shop.
All right, you head back to the coffee shop.
Change my disguise while I'm at it.
Yeah, don't bother rolling. All right, so you're in the coffee shop.
I'll just order something and sit down and just observe for a while.
Sure. You order some very expensive coffee that is very good, but very expensive. The pastries here are also are expensive, but very good.
Is this by any chance have any sort of ethnicity?
Sure, actually. It is actually a Turkish coffee house.
Turkish, okay.
So it's Turkish coffee. Yeah, it's potent.
Okay. Do I notice any doors? Like inside.
I'm assuming you mean other than the ones you came in. Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, there's a bathroom. There's a door back to the storeroom.
Okay. I'm going to finish my drink and head into the bathroom. Not actually going to use it. I'm just going to basically make sure there's nobody in there.
Nope.
Waiting there a length of time obviously means that people think I've used it.
Right.
Okay. I need to check this place out. Which would be easier, going in through the front main entrance or going around the back?
It's also possible that he could have gotten off at some point that was nearby the garage, and so his driver is just parked there to be nearby.
Could be. I'm going to check this place out first, though.
Okay.
Right, how do I get in? How do I get in? How do I get in? Oh, how many staff are on?
3 or 4. Let's say 4.
Okay.
Basically, someone to work the register, someone to make the coffee, and a couple of basically waiters, effectively.
Right, and where is the storeroom? Is it like behind the cashier, behind the register or something?
It's behind the counter, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go outside and go around the back and see if I can find the side entrance.
Yeah, you can do that, no problem.
Okay. See if I can make my way in.
Given that the place is open, it is not too hard to get into the building through the storage room. No, not at all.
Right, I'm gonna investigate to see if there's anything, any clues or anything here.
All right, give me an investigation check, then fine.
Mighty.
Impressive. All right, you can conclusively say, Gav, that this is a storage room for a Turkish coffee shop.
Okay.
You find nothing particularly untowards or...
On the barista occasionally like smokes a doobie during their break and back here, but that's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, well I think I'd check it out anyway.
No, that's perfectly valid.
Well, I'll head back then and see what's in the vicinity of the parking garage.
Mm-hmm. It's in the vicinity of the parking garage. There are a couple of hotels. There's a theater. A couple of restaurants.
Hmm.
On the bright side, if he gets back in the car, you'll know.
Yeah, and worst comes to the worst, I can resume and try again tomorrow because he's going to go back to work, but...
He might not go back to work if he's the owner.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
What's up, dude?
Can someone look up the registered address of the owner of the flower shop?
I'm sort of going, you have his license plate.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys can get his address pretty easily.
All right, let's burst in there and beat everyone up and take him into custody.
Wait, what?
So this works, right? No, it's not.
Fucking idiot sometimes.
Uh,
Well, I'm going to go there.
Fair enough. All right, you guys arrive at his house. It's a very nice house. Not no, it's not like a mansion or anything like that. But, it's like it's a brownstone basically. One thing you notice, Gav, is that there is a parked out front. There is a van, and there's somebody who's carrying stuff in bags out of the house and loading it into the van.
Uh-oh. Can I see what those stuff is? You know what it is?
It honestly looks like suitcases and various small boxes and such.
As in moving or trip or...
You would lean towards, honestly, you'd lean towards long trip, basically.
Hmm. Okay, guys, if we're going to pull this...
But I will say this
fast.
also, Gav, give me an insight check also. Yeah, there's definitely an air about the guys who are moving stuff out that they're in a rush and weren't expecting to be doing this today.
Yeah, I think we've been made.
What? What makes you say that?
Just my paranoia again.
Okay. Okay.
This is the way the car was starting and stopping, and now all of a sudden they're trying to move out.
Okay.
And we know that he's the type that, likes to cover his tracks, uses bird phones, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Won't be unreasonable to
What's your
assume that he
point?
moves the dress. I think he suspects that we might be onto him
Yeah,
in
if
his
something
movie.
is up here,
Okay.
so let's do what we can while we're here.
Yes. I'm not saying not.
Okay.
I'm just saying we need to move quick.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so what are you guys doing?
Let's stealthily take out the guys who are moving stuff first.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
Um,
totally you guys. There's nothing I could do.
Okay, I need stealth checks from you, from the guys who are stealthing.
My stealth.
And this is where I start rolling all ones.
Yeah. But
Oh,
Or not. All right, I'm gonna make you guys roll to attack. These guys are movers, basically. These are not trained combatants. Thunk, thunk, unconscious, unconscious.
okay then. I guess we'll start moving in then. Before we go anywhere, I'll grab one of the bags and see what's inside.
Clothing.
Actually, I've got a better idea.
The guy's just picking up and moving, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the clothes of one of the moving guys.
Okay.
Disguise myself.
You are disguised.
I'm gonna walk in.
All right. You see someone who's very clearly. You see a couple people in there. One is someone who's very clearly sort of a butlery type. The other who's very clearly a sort of head of security type.
Okay.
The butler type looks at you and says, "You, get bags for get box from in living room. Carry out to van."
I'm just gonna nod and walk into the living room.
You notice that there's basically only one box in there. There's a lot of like antiques and expensive stuff still in here. It is simply a box. It's very heavy. The one thing you notice that's in the room that is not like it probably was before is that there's an empty bookshelf.
So they're basically taking the essentials or whatever he values.
Yes. And at a guess, the reason the box is heavy is because it is filled with books, and paper is fucking heavy.
Yes, it is. Okay. One thing I never checked: does my gun make noise when it fires its non-lethal settings?
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't know how much noise an energy pulse made. Yeah. Okay.
Or it could sound like Gilbert Gottfried screaming "Zap" at the top of his lungs.
Dear God, no.
Energy blast!
Okay. Is there another way out? Is this one of these big sort of living rooms with multiple entrances?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm going to just walk past the box and just like start sneaking around the house.
Yeah, no problem.
In plain sight.
It's very clear that basically it looks like he's only moving stuff from various certain rooms. Like the office is completely empty at this point.
Oh, actually, sorry. Before I do move out, I'm just going to open that box and what sort of books are there?
They all look like they're very old collector's books. You take a quick through them. They look like they're basically like first printings of various rare collectible books.
Okay.
So expensive.
Yes. Okay, and then I'm going to move on and have a nosy around.
All right, I need another check.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you're pretty sneaky.
Sneaky, sneaky.
All right. All right. So you poke about a bit, as I said. You notice that basically the office has been emptied. His bedroom has had a lot of stuff taken out of it, mostly clothing and such. There are a few things from here and there that look like the stuff been taken out, but it's not like they're emptying the house entirely.
Mm.
There is more stuff that is missing from here than you saw in the van.
Right, so there might be more than one van already gone.
Yep.
Okay,
I need a perception check from you also.
Okay. Perception is also +7.
19. You actually hear, "Hey, where is other driver?"
This is where Aaron walks in, forgetting to take off his mask.
And
That's
why is
not
he
going
not
to-
brought? Why is he not in the room with Box? What is going on?
I'll come out as fast as I can and just... I'm not going to do a doofy accent, but I'm going to do, that box is heavy, guys. I just needed... I need some help with that. I couldn't find anybody else.
Where is your partner?
I don't know. I think he went to take a piss. Hey, don't look at me, dude. He's new.
The security guy basically is looking you up and down, but so I need a deceit check from you with your giant bonus.
What was it again? I've forgotten now.
Plus 20.
Oh, okay.
Don't roll a 1, I guess.
That explains why I've got a +28 button there.
Yeah. He looks you down and says, yeah. You have assuaged him that he is not suspicious enough to go poke outside and look around.
Good.
So what are the rest of you doing at this point?
I'm actually going to check the cab, see if I can't find an address for where they're supposed to be dropping this stuff off.
All right. It's an interesting question. That is an interesting question. Let me think about it for a moment. Yeah, actually. Actually, you do find a clipboard with delivery instructions.
Okay. I memorize it.
Well, it's not that hard. It says being taken down to Dock 33, to Pier 23 in the Docks District.
Mm-hmm.
To be taken to a ship.
Doesn't have the name of the ship or anything on it, does it?
Yeah. It's a
He's something Russian.
It's something Russian, yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to be, I guess, sneaking around the area, seeing if anyone is leaving the building.
Okay. That is reasonable. Is anyone leaving the building is a question. Not that you can... Give me a perception check, actually.
There.
You do not see anybody sneaking out of the building.
Okay.
Can I contact Gav without busting his thing? Like, is it just an earpiece you've got, or is it an actual, like, walkie-talkie?
Right now, it's a walkie-talkie.
Okay.
Probably. Eventually, you guys can get earpieces, but that will actually cost some points.
Right. So I'd love to suggest something to Gav.
Hmm.
That would be awesome and easy for him to do. It involves a bathroom.
Once he pretends to come out. Well, once he comes out,
Yeah. Well, I'll do that. I'll basically come out and report what I've got with some random box in my hand.
Okay. All right.
He's heading to all this stuff is going to dock. What was it, 32?
Yeah, something like that.
Headed for a ship Russian name. If you go back in there, see if you can't get some hair like off his hairbrush or his pillow or something.
Okay.
It's not as good as blood, but it'll work.
Well, I haven't seen him in there, so I don't know where he is himself. But yeah, I can do that. So I'll head back in
All right, you head back in.
and make my way eventually up to the bathroom.
All right, you made your way up to the bathroom, no problem.
Is there any hairbrushes there?
Um,
Or something like that.
well, Gav, I will say I will say this. There are two ways we can handle this. We can either go with what I've got, go with sort of what my thoughts are, or you could spend your hero point to basically say there is a hairbrush there. Remember, you guys.
Let's go with what you.
You can
Let's go with what you've got, and then if there isn't one, I can just hero point afterwards.
Well,
if there's one
basically, here's the deal. Remember, the one thing I do want you guys to remind you guys is that you can use hero points to basically dramatically edit scenes and such.
Yeah.
To add things that you think would be appropriate. I hadn't thought about whether there'd be a hairbrush here with hair on it. So, if you guys want to add that, it'd be an easy way you could easily just add it.
Yeah.
Yes, Darkbolt, John did use a hero point on the tracker, but he does have. They all had 3 to start the session because of the fight with Superiana at the end of that session.
I haven't had to use any because I've been rolling at like over 15 this entire time.
What the hell is staticking like that? Ooh.
That might be me.
Yeah, it's you, Nick.
Okay.
Stop holding it in front of the fan.
Okay, sure. I'm sure that's it. Is it still going?
Nope.
No.
Okay. I twisted one of the nodes, so.
Okay. But yeah, Gav, basically, just spend a hero point, you'll be fine.
Okay then.
All right, so you spend a hero point, you find a brush with the hair on it.
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay.
There's a hairbrush. There's some silvery gray hair in it.
Not necessarily his.
I'm gonna say that's what I was thinking. Does it match the guy that was at the?
Yes, it looks like it looks like the same color hair he had. And since you have eidetic memory,
yeah. Okay, we'll take a risk on this. I don't know how many people live with him or who does or who would use this, but that's close as I'm going to get.
I will say this, since you spent a hero point on it, it's his hair.
Okay.
Perfect. Now I can track him.
In that case then, I think I've got as much as I can here, if you've got the address outside.
Yep.
I'll head back out.
All right, you head back out.
And hand the brush off to Doc.
All right, what are you guys doing at this point?
Well, I'm going to assume from here that the guy's not here, so we can either...
I didn't see him.
Yeah, so we can either just... I guess we could just go in and disable... there's like, 2 men in there?
There's a moving crew and his personal security and the butler.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, we could
disable
capture them all if we wanted to.
If there are any records pertaining to his less than savory business, if he's been keeping them in his house, they're probably in this truck.
Actually, I think if he's been keeping them in the house, they'll have been the first things to leave because there's far more that's missing in that house than there's in this truck.
Okay.
Could have
I think-
they could have already
Yeah.
very well burned them, so...
Yeah. What's looking now is that they're not taking everything, but they are taking anything he considers valuable. There's a crate full of what look like really expensive books in there, but it's like the sort of things you'd take last.
Gotcha.
But there's still a lot of stuff on the walls that would be considered valuable that is leaving, or at least hasn't started packing up yet.
Well, all right. We can just, I mean, now that we've done all our investigating and stuff, we can, I guess,
Oh, that's a thought. Yeah,
what's up?
I completely forgot that. Peter, do you mind if I do actually a general investigation roll to see if I can find any
Oh, absolutely. Go for it.
while I'm in there?
Yeah.
Plus 12.
Yeah. That's impressive. Yeah, sure. This you can probably find some information. You don't find anything directly incriminating,
No.
but you do find some things that are sort of oblique references to the various Russian crime families in such an area, and you do find a few newspaper clippings about various super criminals that have been in Star City recently.
Is there any photos?
None that you actually find. That's actually an important note. You see no photographs anywhere in the place.
See, I know
I'm
what it
just
looks
thinking
like.
there's this wall covered with him shaking hands with the various superheroes like the Baron and Archon and Superiana and
yeah. Picture him shaking hands with Lodestone. I've got an invoice from Superiano on his fax machine.
Actually, Gav, one thing you do find crumpled up in a trash bin. You notice that one of the trash bins, as you were poking around, when you were poking around, that you can sort of you can feel sort of like it looks like something was burnt. Paper was burned in here.
Okay.
You find a piece of paper which didn't burn completely, which looks like it has a phone number on it. It's an international number, and it sort of looks like there's like the bottom half of a name written on the top.
Can I make out what it says?
Give me an intellect roll.
My intellect is poor. Well, it's not, but on its own.
Right. Well. All right.
that is not a poor intellect, Gab. That's an awesome intellect. That is just below normal human best.
All right, Gav.
Yeah.
You're positive that the last four letters are A-N-N-A.
A-N-N-A.
Yes.
Anna. As in Superiana. Okay.
You're fairly certain the first letter is an S.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm taking that piece of evidence with me.
Mm-hmm.
Careful not to, break it. Oh.
Yeah, it's a bit fragile because, it's partially burned. But you can clearly make out the phone number. As I said, it's an international number of some sort.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, with that done, then I'm going to leave.
Yep. All right, so you guys leave. What are you guys going to be doing now?
All right, tracking spell to find out where the Phantom actually is.
You want to do that. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I need to hit the head and get something to drink. So why don't we take a short break here, and we'll come back in a few minutes.
Yes.
All right.
Sounds like a great idea. I need to piss also.
Me too. I'm also hungry, so I want to get a pot noodle.
All right, that's cool.
Right back.
Yep.
Oh. I
Yeah,
prompted a break. Sorry.
Well, it's a good point to take a short break.
Okay.
I'm back. Uh, so, once everybody's back, we'll get going again.
I'm here.
Yep. Eric is back, but he is eating chips. So let's wait for Gav to get back with his pot noodle, and we'll get going. Uh, do, do, do.
There we go.
And we're all back. Okay. Excellent. So we good to go?
Yes.
Excellent. So, all right, Eric, you want to whip up a tracking spell. Is there anything else the others want to do while Dr. Arcane is doing that?
You just doing that while we're outside?
I bought it as a power, so I don't need the big fat ritual anymore.
Okay.
All right, so Eric, give me a thaumatology roll. I don't believe the spell technically needs it, but...
I think that's a good balancing thing for it, though.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's entirely the wrong thing I'm typing into.
$32. All right. Well, yes, you were able to zoom in. Your mind sort of seeks out and such, and you eventually get a lock onto him, and he is moving very quickly.
As in flight?
Yeah, actually.
Like in an airplane?
Could be.
Like, I'm never going to catch him?
Not easily.
He's on a plane.
Where's
Or
he
riding
headed?
on the back of some flying supervillain, but yeah.
Where's he headed?
Actually, you can with that roll you can get the direction of travel. He is headed east.
He's going east.
Northeast, really.
Northeast. I'm guessing he's going back to Russia.
Well, even if we caught up to him, we would have difficulty bringing him in.
Yeah.
This is true. So you were doing this just outside the house?
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, you hear a ahem from the doorway.
I'm busy at the moment. Whoop, 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 whoop.
You see the guy, Gav, that you were fairly certain was the head of the security guy.
How far away is he?
He's standing in the doorway, so maybe 30 feet.
Oh, good.
He's just standing there holding up an envelope between two fingers.
Yes.
You are superheroes, yeah? Huh?
Am I still in disguise?
Yeah, you are. He seems to be ignoring you and is talking to Errant and Dr. Arcane.
Okay.
You are heroes, yeah? Superheroes?
Yeah, I'll walk over and I'll take the note.
This is for you from Prevednie.
What's the letters?
He left it here because he thought you might come here at some point.
Looks like we just missed him.
He does not live here, but he knows man who does. You guys can give an insight check if you'd like.
I don't even know if I have insight.
I do.
I'm on fire.
Yeah, you are, man. Damn.
Oh, actually, my insight's actually not that bad.
It's a useful skill for superheroes, actually. Yeah, you're all fairly certain he is not telling the truth, but it's not like he's really trying to hide it. It's just a clear, yeah, legally,
No, he does not live here. No!
Of course he doesn't live here. Don't be ridiculous.
Look, I know you track him to this very location, but he does not live here.
It's a sort of must-maintain legal fiction about this. I know you know that it's this guy, but I have to distance myself. That I have to. He's my employer, and he wants me to distance. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say this, and you're not going to get me to say otherwise. But I know you know I'm lying.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, even if we do track the van to the ship and the ship to its destination, if it does leave us to Russia, I don't believe that we really have jurisdiction there.
Technically, do we have jurisdiction here? I
In
mean,
terms of
purely from a legal point of view, we are vigilantes.
Yep.
I'm just saying,
So if we wanted to go into
I don't
Russia
think that the
today,
NSCA is going to apply.
yeah, we could, but we'd be on our own.
you would be.
So, I mean, here's what I'm going to do eventually.
Yep.
Well, I'll just explain that later. So,
What's the note say, actually?
yeah, let's read the note first.
It says very simply at the top. It's actually written in English this time. And it
So
says,
we don't have to break that Gav's cover. Awesome.
right. It says Sentinels. By the time if you are reading this message, you have forced me to leave Star City for the time being. Well done.
That's all it says?
Well, no, I'm getting to the rest of it.
Okay.
I'm particularly impressed in the way you managed to frame me in starting a war between various Russian mafia families.
When I read that, I kind of just like take my eyes off the page for a bit, just kind of stare at the sky.
I did not think heroes such as yourselves would do something so reckless that would cause so much loss of life, especially indicating that by delivering a rose to the wife of one family, indicating that the families were actually would be in the line of fire. I have
Just walk around the front of the van whistling.
Sort of making a point of not looking at Gav.
I have endeavored to try to minimize the casualties as much as possible in this situation by sending out, by trying to at least scale down the oncoming storm of violence that will be coming to Star City. If you've made it to this house, it means you've figured out my current identity, which probably took no small amount of investigative skills on your part. Well done. When we do realize that while I am impressed and while I am impressed and do respect your skills as investigators and quote heroes end quote, do realize that you are now officially on the list of people I will have to have eliminated. I look forward to intellectually crossing paths with you again. Signed, Privednya.
All right. Well, I think that we're done here.
We sort of succeeded.
I'd call this a success.
I mean, it's not ideal, but we did
No,
drive him.
I mean, the ideal would be that we would actually have the guy arrested
Captured
and so
him.
on and so forth. But, you know, we made progress. We know who he is, and we drove him out of the area. And if we encounter him again, we'll know how to identify him. And furthermore, as I'm assuming at this point that we're all okay with just leaving. Guys?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to get on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to call everyone I know in Europe.
Actually, yeah, I've got a few contacts there too.
So do you guys have the context advantage?
I do.
I do not.
All right. So, well, you can call one or two people, Eric, that you know, but you don't really know a lot of people in these sort of.
Yeah, basically, I know some people in the fields of like
But it's,
archaeology, and cryptozoology, and thaumatology. That's it.
Right.
They're all
We've-
like college professors.
friends of his world-traveling parents.
Whereas, yes, you can give me an investigation skill to hit up your contacts, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas Aaron and John spread the web.
So you want an investigation check from all of us, or
Well, from anyone who's trying to hit their contacts up, that's one of the requisites for accessing
okay.
your contacts. Yeah, that'll do it.
all right? And yeah, I'll basically contact everyone that I know in the superhero network and say there's this guy who goes by Prevedenie. This was the identity that we knew him by, and more information about what he looks and sounds like will be forthcoming.
I contact everyone I know, plus a few people I don't, and just convinced I know them.
And say that I suspect that he's headed for Russia. So
Okay. All right. So what are you guys doing from here?
I guess
We
Following.
got the gang war to mitigate, and an Inferno's cult to deal with, and so, a possible Atlantean invasion to quell. And oh yeah, aliens will probably be showing back up again.
Right. Okay.
What do we need to do?
yeah. In the meantime, is checking in with the NSCA and seeing how things are going.
All right.
Yes.
So, all right. So you guys are basically going to head back to base at this point, is what I'm guessing, then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys get back to base. When you arrive at base, you notice that there is there's a black SUV outside, parked outside.
Okay.
And as you get out of, as you basically sort of head towards base, the doors open, and you notice that SSA Smith and her partner, whose name I've forgotten all of a sudden, started with a W.
Long?
Montgomery Burns.
That was it was like Waller or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Let's say it's Waller. So SSA's Smith and Waller get out. And
Amanda Waller?
no, it's a guy.
Okay.
It is not Amanda Waller. Dear God, no.
She would kick all our asses.
It's a man that's named Waller. I don't know.
Oh, damn it! That was terrible, Nick.
It was pretty awful. It was a stretch.
Yes, it was. And so you notice that, so they come walking up, and Agent Smith is taking the lead, and she says, so this is your base of operations. Not bad.
Yep. Would you like to come in? Have a drink? Coffee, tea, some liquor. Ooh, maybe Tony Works made cookies.
Oh, well, I'd love to have a coffee. We do have a couple things we do want to discuss with you, if that's all right, if we may come in.
Imagine.
Yeah, we'd be poor hosts if we didn't offer you something.
I guess we leave it inside.
All right. They head inside. You
Get
do,
some coffee.
you do, in fact, smell smell something baking.
I'm going to announce as we walk in. Tony, we have guests.
Mark!
All right. They haven't met Tony before.
No, they haven't. Yes, they all sort of look at each other like, work? Tony comes waddling out. Mark?
Hello, Tony. This is Agent Smith and Agent Waller.
Mark? The two of them sort of look down at the penguin, look at each other. Try very, very, very hard not to display any sort of any reaction at the moment.
Right.
They are professionals.
You'd think they'd never seen a fully sentient, fully clothed penguin.
He is, in fact, Blue Kawadi mentions that he's wearing a little apron. He, in fact, is.
Nice.
You guys think you smell chocolate chip cookies baking currently.
Awesome.
The penguin tips his head. Mark?
Tony,
We
can
have
you help
some
me
things.
Could you help me out with coffee for our guests?
Mark! He goes waddling back into the kitchen.
Won't you please take a seat?
They look at each other, look back at you guys.
You think you'd never seen a fully sentient, fully clothed penguin in an apron before?
I haven't. So that was a penguin. I'm not seeing things.
Yes.
I had the same reaction, don't worry.
Okay.
No, it wasn't the same exact reaction.
No, mine took a bit longer.
Yeah.
Wait, he's making coffee?
Yes.
How's he doing that with flippers?
I don't know! I've been trying to figure it out since I met him. It's maddening.
Agent Waller seems the more befuddled of the two.
Less experience dealing with the NSCA, I guess.
Yes.
We came across Tony some weeks ago, and through some intervention by the NSCA, he now works with us.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking it doesn't seem to be magical, so I'm thinking it's some sort of tactile telekinesis.
Doctor, weren't you going to get coffee?
Oh, right. I go and help Tony with the coffee.
Anyways, yeah. Thanks for the. We want to say thanks for the help with the situation with the Russian mafia there. That was a big help.
More than a pleasure.
You guys said you were looking into something involving the Phantom. What was going on with that? We didn't. Agent Smith of the NSCA was not particularly forthcoming, so we figured we'd swing by and ask if you were willing to let us know what you were looking into.
Well, we had a lead on a possible identity of the Providenier, also Phantom, and we followed up on it, and it appears that our suspicion was correct, because when we, after the conflict, went to his house, he had fled. Appears to have gone back to Russia, or at the very least, somewhere very, very far to the northeast. I was actually on my way to get in contact with some people I know in the general area to see if they could do anything, but
Yeah. Well,
at least for the time being, he's at least gone from the area.
Yeah, and out of our jurisdiction. Waller says, "Well, we could bring the CIA in on this," and Smith looks back, glares back at him.
No.
We're not bringing a third agency into this. We do not need the bureaucratic nightmare. We'll inform the Russians if he's actually going back to Russia. Let them deal with it. If they want help from the CIA, they can ask. So I take it the doppelganger you were speaking to was of help then.
Actually, he was even willing to provide a sample of what the Providenia sounded like.
What? but I assumed he used like a voice modulator.
According to the doppelganger, that didn't work on him.
At which point we come into the coffees. Interesting thing about doppelgangers, due to their nature as shapeshifters, that technological disguises don't work quite as well on them.
Aha. You see, Agent Waller is looking a little bit befuddled. Agent Smith is basically massaging her temples. This is
Also,
why
you can get pretty much anything you want out of them if you offer them gold. It doesn't even have to be a lot.
Aha.
It was actually really easy.
And this is why I really wish we'd turned him over to the NSEA to begin with, so we didn't have to deal with him. Because this sort of weird shit is not the sort of things we deal with.
All right.
Isn't that weird?
She looks up
Yes.
at you. She looks over at Tony. She looks back at you. And she
What?
she sort of lowers her eyebrows a little bit.
I don't
Aha. At any rate, we do have from what we've been able to find from interrogating the various people we apprehended tonight. There is going to be more stuff going down over the next couple of days. There are likely to be 1 or 2 assassination attempts on various leaders of the families. And supposedly there is supposed to be, there's rumor that 1 or 2 supervillains have been hired to come in and shake things up a bit.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's the main reason we came here to talk to you. We already passed this information on to the NSEA. They're doing what they can do, but they suggested we let you know, since while they are equipped and trained and are able to deal with supervillains, Agent Smith seems to be of the opinion that you people are capable of, are reasonably trustworthy for vigilantes. And, sorry, I'm used to dealing
Concerned citizens.
technically you are vigilantes, and I'm used to dealing with more,
Conventional.
no, the superheroes that I had to deal with in my previous post were less helpful. So it's nothing against you guys. You guys have actually been quite helpful to the city from what I've seen, and I honestly wish more of them out there were like you guys. But at any rate, we don't know who they're bringing in terms of villains, but if there's a chance they might be sort of out of the league of what the NSC, what Agent Smith and Lou are really capable of handling. They're the only 2 metahumans working at this branch right now, and they're somewhat dinged up from their fight with Superiana.
We're more than willing to help out.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. If we have you, we have your number, but we didn't obtain it through. You probably can guess how we got your number. In all honesty, we didn't get it through proper channels yet. We'd like to be able to officially contact you without having to route through the NSEA, if that's all right with you guys.
I don't see a problem with it. I sort of look over at the other members of the Sentinels.
No, that's fine.
Let me.
That's it. Okay, good. Then we can say we've unofficially gotten your number, and and we don't have to route through the NSEA. If there's a situation with the NSEA jurisdiction is important, we will of course go through them first, because As much
See,
as
that's
they're...
one of the lovely advantages of using superheroes. You could just serendipitously let us know about something, and then you won't have to worry about jurisdictional whatnots.
Yeah. 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 The reason I will say this, and I want to, what's the word? Oh, yes, apologize. The reason we have your number and know where your base is when we were on the phone with you that first time, during that lengthy wait, one of our more enterprising technicians decided to do a reverse trace.
Hmm.
Well, nice to know we can trust you.
Tony, when you get a chance, do you think I'll figure out a way to make sure they can't do that anymore? Thanks. I mean, it's not such a big deal for you guys, but in case we end up talking with some less savory people over the phone, we'd rather not lead them right back here.
Oh, you mean like the Phantom who delivered a package to our door?
Yes.
No, he didn't deliver it to your door. He sent it to the NSEA.
Oh, he did,
Give it to
didn't
you
he?
guys.
Sorry, yeah.
That would have been Ghost to deliver it straight to our door.
Well, he didn't have your address, so...
No.
Yeah, I don't know what he was threatening us with if he had already threatened to kill us. You were on my list of people to kill. We were already on your list of people to kill.
No, you were on the list of people that if you didn't stop interfering, he would have to kill you.
Oh. Well, we didn't stop interfering. So
No, and he's there. Therefore,
it's like okay, all right. All right.
but
Well,
yes,
that's done then.
she basically says that technically we're not supposed to do traces like that outside of if we're in contact with a criminal. As I said, it was just one of the our more enterprising technicians who is something of a fan of costume vigilantes like yourselves.
Ah.
Ooh, costume vigilante. That's a good term. I'm going to start using it.
It's not a positive term, Doctor.
No. That just sounds so dangerous.
Costume? It sounds
Well,
like we're playing dress up.
I guess.
Actually,
This isn't technically a costume. It's a...
That's why it's not a positive remark.
Agent SSA Smith is smirking a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, we've let her know that she shouldn't have done that, and she's had an official reprimand for that. But I can't believe I'm going to ask this.
Yes.
She was wondering if, when she found out I was coming here to talk to you all, she wanted me to ask if I could get her your autographs.
Aaron tries not to smirk.
I'm excited. I've never given an autograph.
Agent Waller is actually chuckling slightly.
I've never
Agent
given
Smith
an
looks...
autograph before. This is fun. Who do I make it out to? How do I do this? Do I just write my name and... Is that just how it works?
It's like it tends to depend on the person asking for it. What? Been a psychic for 10 years.
Just
I can have fans.
She reaches in and pulls out like a book that she said that she's our technician handed this to me to just find a page and sign it how you'd like. If you want to make it out to someone, her name is Penny Allen.
I'm going to flip through the book really quickly as I try to find a blank page.
There are actually a reasonable number of autographs in there from various. They're not a ton. They're like maybe 10 or so autographs in there from various superheroes. Most of them are sort of smaller, not less well-known ones.
Right. Ones that have time to sign an autograph.
Yep. Surprisingly, there are actually a couple of villains in there.
Huh.
That actually doesn't surprise me at all.
The one
Youth and law enforcement.
Yeah, exactly. The one that catches your eye is there is, in fact, Superiana signatures in there.
Awesome.
Does she have a message with it? Like,
Actually, surprisingly, it basically says, let me see. Let me think about this for a second. It says, yeah, basically, Penny, it was nice meeting you at the coffee house. Was a fun discussion. Take care of yourself, kid. Superiana.
Awesome.
Superiana got coffee, apparently.
She does that.
All right, yeah, I'll find a spot and sign my name.
Why did she would?
Not my real name.
Yep. Any of you who want to sign it may do so.
I will absolutely sign it. with
Absolutely
grave
not.
reverence. I mean, this is my first autograph ever.
Gav, are you signing it is the question.
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Captain Paranoia himself signs nothing.
I'm going to leave a note that said John Doe refused to sign. Sorry. Does Mork sign as well?
Actually, Tony comes waddling in at this point with a tray of cookies. Mark,
Yay!
Thank you, Tony.
Mark. He waddles back to the kitchen, comes waddling back in with a small plate of sardines, and sort of hops up into one of the chairs.
But yes, if you ever need our help for anything, don't worry about calling that number.
These cookies are delicious. You two should try one.
They are good. They are good chocolate chip cookies, not like super amazing, but good. Tony's not a super skilled baker. Basically, he followed the Nestle's Toll House cookie recipe on the back of the chocolate chip bag.
Awesome.
With that, the agents stand up. They both sort of look over at Tony again, shake their heads a little bit. Working with superheroes takes getting used to. Thank you again, guys. We'll be in touch. Hopefully nothing too major, but we'll see.
The next day...
Star City Sentinels here. How may I direct your call? We're under attack by alien zombie lobsters.
that are also part of the Russian mafia.
The devil-worshipping infernalists.
And Daleks. All right. Honestly, I think this is actually a good breakpoint.
Probably.
Yeah.
It wrapped up a major plot arc.
Yes.
And we can decide what we're going to be doing for the next arc. Do you guys? So the question I actually have for you guys: do you want to focus on the cult next, or do you want to focus on something else next?
I assume that Dr. Arcane demands that we focus
Dr.
on the
Arcane's gonna... Now that the Phantom's out of the way, the cult's got to be the next one
Okay.
to go.
Well, I will prep for the cult next week then. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening to the recording. For those of you who as always, we love the guys who are here live, watching us live. Hopefully we should be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until next week, take care and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, kids.